Welcome back to On That Tropic. This is Sihara, and this is my first episode. So it's great to have you here, and I'm really excited to have a conversation with you and hopefully share something that will help you along your journey that you are on right now. So, a little bit of information about me as an individual. I am a Sri Lankan from the hearty hearts of Colombo. I happen to be 25 years old right now, and I have a lot of things on my mind on a daily basis. And I just, I feel like there is so much that I could offer potentially to anyone who's out there listening. I'm a really motivated, super determined person. I have really big goals and dreams for myself. And I listen to a lot of self-help and self-improvement based podcasts, but I rarely find something that I can personally relate to as a brown girl from South Asia. So that is why I thought I could share this with you. If you're like me, looking for someone that you can listen to, and looking for someone that you can relate to. And even if you are not from a South Asian background, I'm planning to discuss a lot of different topics on this podcast, from things like self-help, self-improvement, to love, life, navigating your 20s, and a lot of things that call for introspection and also allow you to look a little bit deeper into yourself and help you become the best version of yourself that you can be. So, today, I thought, since this is the very first episode and I'm a little nervous making this, I thought today I could talk to you a little bit about something that I have been struggling with in the past and how I have been working on myself and working on that specific challenge that I'm going through right now. Consistency. So consistency is something that I have struggled with my entire life. I completely dropped the ball and I find myself just forgetting about the whole thing. And then a couple of weeks later, I remember that I was supposed to be consistent with this one thing and I didn't. And then I do not feel like starting again. And sometimes I end up starting again. And then what do you know? A couple of weeks later, I'm dropping the ball yet again. And this cycle keeps repeating and repeating and repeating. And this has been something that I have had such a lot of issues navigating. And I am 25 years old now, and I know I'm supposed to have things figured out, but I do not. And I'm learning this year how to master consistency and be consistent with the things that I do. That also means sometimes not allowing myself to act on how I feel. So one thing that I've always been used to is acting on my feelings. So let's say I wake up in the morning and I'm supposed to practice my guitar for 1 hour, and I don't feel like it. I just don't feel like it. So what do? I'm not practice guitar, that's for sure. So I don't practice the guitar, and I end up, just procrastinating it and moving it along to maybe the next day and the next day. And my consistency just does not happen. I am not consistent. So I decided that I wanted to do some really deep thinking and really look inward as to why I struggle so much with being consistent. So what did I do? I did the exact same thing you are probably doing right now. I was listening to a bunch of podcasts trying to figure this out. Why was I not being consistent? And honestly, I did not get my answer. So I had to really sit down and do some journaling and write down exactly what made me not want to be consistent. And at the end of the day, I found out that the reason is because I have this really limiting belief that I am incapable of being consistent. I just do not believe I can be consistent deep down. And that is the reason that I just do not stick to things that I say I'm going to stick to or want to stick to. So this month, the month of September. So this is all really new information for me, and I'm still figuring things out. So this month I decided that I want to prove to myself that I am in fact capable of being consistent, and I'm in fact capable of bouncing back even if, let's say, I drop the ball for a day or two, which might happen. I do not believe in being so strict with yourself to a point where you punish yourself if you miss a day or two. It does not mean that you allow yourself to drop the ball, but let's say something comes up and let's say something really unavoidable happens. And if that's the case and you do in fact end up not being consistent for, let's say, a day or two, the worst thing that you could do, and something I used to do, is to blame yourself and to engage in negative self-talk. And that is so counterproductive, because you are just telling yourself that, oh my goodness, you are not a consistent person, you're not capable of consistency, it's just impossible. And you are basically telling yourself that you cannot be consistent. So your motivation or whatever work you were putting in for yourself, or whatever work you're putting into yourself, is not happening at the end of the day, because you're telling yourself that it's not possible. So back to my limiting beliefs, right? I told myself that I am going to start moving my body every single day as much as I could, and I am going to be consistent with it. And the main way I was going to be consistent with it was getting to 3 kilometers every single day, 3 kilometers or more. And that would be either I am taking a walk, or I'm tracking my steps for the day, or I'm going for a run. Usually it is me going for a run in the evening. I am always finding time in the evenings to go on my evening runs, because that is such a calming activity for me. And honestly, I cannot even run that well right now because of some health things that I'm dealing with. So it's more like, jogging, walking, and a little bit of running whenever I feel my body is able to. And lo and behold, since September started, I have been so consistent with this that gradually I am starting to realize that I am actually capable of consistency. I'm not 100% there yet. So this, just me saying this out loud is me reaffirming to myself that I am someone who's capable of being consistent, and just focusing on disproving this really, really flawed limiting belief that I had within me has proven to be so worthwhile for me. This is going out to anyone who struggles with consistency like I do. I would say start with just one thing, because if you're like me and you try to be consistent with like 15 other things all at once, that just does not happen. And you might need to look a little bit inward and see exactly why you believe that you cannot be consistent with something. It could really, really go back to how you see yourself and the self-image that you have, and core beliefs that are such a big part of who you are that you do not even realize that that's a belief and not the actual reality or the truth. Because a belief, just because you believe it, does not make it true. You tell yourself it's true, and that's the reason you believe that that is reality. But a belief can always be changed, and when you change your belief system, when you change the negative thoughts that you have, or the negative senses of self that you might carry, or even little things that you might tell yourself that really, really limit you and limit your potential and your capacity, you'll be surprised as to what is waiting on the other side. And honestly, I am no life coach. I am not someone who has everything figured out 2025 has been one of the toughest years of my life. I have been going through so many roller coasters on an emotional point of view, on a financial point of view, on my passion projects and anything and everything that I'm looking into. But I've also been doing a lot of introspecting, and I've realized so many different things that I struggle with that I'm sure there are people out there like you who may struggle with as well. And I've also realized that if I can try being consistent and keep being consistent after 25 years of failing, then you can too. So there you have it. I really hope this helped. I'm hoping to continue this, and I'm hoping to be consistent with this, but I'm not going to be setting unrealistic, standards for this particular podcast, because right now I'm just starting out and finding time for this. But I will be consistent because this makes me so happy, and talking to you has made me so happy. And yeah, just talking about these things really do fulfill me, because I'm hoping that things that I go through and realize in my own life can be helpful to someone else out there. I will see you on the next one. Till then, bye-bye.